Okay, welcome to ToneBar. This is a ToneBar. Okay, since I released this, I filed this at the patent office on July the 27th of this year, and this video is about the facts, the science, the math, and the reviews of the ToneBar. Since I launched this 3 months ago, I want to thank everybody for taking their time to look at the videos, to purchase these things, to put them in their guitars, to give me the feedback. So since this thing's been released into the wild, I've had over 1,000 views combined with YouTube, eBay. Now on my eBay site I don't have any comments because I've heard that you open up the comments and then if somebody says something bad then you're responsible for it, and I ain't got time for all that. Okay, since the launch I'm patent pending, and this gives me, by the federal government, the license to make, promote, and sell these things until they approve me next year, or this year, for my full-blown patent. Okay, now like I said, this is patent pending. I have the license to make them, sell them, and promote them, and I'm not just a hobbyist. Who am I? Why have I done this? I've been an entrepreneur since I was 7. I was a professional carpenter when I was 12. I worked at Zenith. I worked on the river welding on coal barges. I worked at Zenith in the engineering department, and here is my engineering certificate. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put that here on the thing. You'll see stuff come up over here on the drum vision. Okay, I worked up in engineering. I made all the jigs and fixtures for all the television cabinets. We were in like the space age of woodworking back in the 70s and 80s. I've taken numerous home study courses. I never went to college. I ain't got time for that. I had kids and was married. Okay, so I took a company from 1 million to 6 million in 1 year. I transformed a 100-year-old business, the way they do things, their whole inside operations and their layout. But in 2011 I had a medical problem. I had to quit, and I had my own little shop for a while, and that's when I discovered the ToneBar, working on guitars, by myself in a little bitty shop that I owned. Okay, now since this came out, I've had 1,000 looks, but only 10 sales on eBay. Everybody that I show this to buys one. When they hear and see the difference that the ToneBar makes in their guitars, they buy it without questioning, and then they tell me how much it improved the sound of their guitars. Now I know there's a bunch of you DIY guys out there that see this and go, oh, it's just a little, some guy said, oh, it's just a little brazen rod. Well, I'm not only, yeah, you guys can make one. I understand that. I probably would do the same thing, but if you don't get them from me, then you're not getting the real deal. If you're not getting these directly from me, then you're not getting the real deal, and your results will not be the same. So don't waste your time. I'm selling them on eBay right now for $10 a piece, and you get a sticker, you get an instruction book, and you get my contact information, and you get everything that you need. And after you buy one, copy it, but you can't sell them, you can't manufacture them. I've got the process down. I can make one every minute, 0.2. I can make thousands of them. And there they are. All ready to ship. All ready to go. I got the process down. Yeah, you may be able to come close, but I got this thing goes through like 8 different processes to become an official ToneBar. Okay, it's not just it's not what you think. I've worked on this I probably come up with this in 2017 and have been perfecting it this whole time, and now I've got what I think is the winning combination of materials, size, and it does what it's supposed to do. It engages the top of your guitar like pins cannot. Okay, let's see. And I'm sure it's a whole brand new way of putting putting strings on your guitar, and I know there's a little bit of apprehension because it's different, but it's if you watch the install video, it's easier. Pins are a pain in the butt. If you break one pin, you got to buy a whole new set of pins. I've never had a ToneBar break. I've never had a string break with a ToneBar. Okay, now since I put this out, you know, like I said, you might be able to do it yourself, but you're not getting the real deal unless you get them from me. Okay, and I am not on any social media. The only social media I'm on is this right here, the YouTube. I sell them on eBay. You got a link below here. This is my direct email address. If you want me to sell them to you direct, get a hold of me and I'll send you one. Okay, now the reviews, and okay, the only negative feedback I've got is from people that haven't tried it. Don't know anybody that has one in their guitar because there's only probably 50 out in the field. One guy, the first guy I showed to, bought 5 of them. He goes, I got 5 guitars. I want these in every one of my guitars. When they hear the guitar, what it sounds like, I'm not going to play the guitars for you, Dad. I'm going to do some more videos with changing strings and all that kind of stuff. So wait for that. So the only negative reviews I've got is from people that have not even tried it. And I've sent these out to, I'm going to call out some names here. I sent one to Norm's in California. I sent one to George in Nashville. I sent one to Walter. I sent one to Guitar Emporium. I sent one to Mom's Music. I call them back. Nobody's put them in yet. I don't know what they're waiting on. I have no idea. One of the big ones I talked to this is the most negative comment I've heard from people who have not tried it. What if I break a string? Okay, well, if you break a string, we've already been over that. You either got a sharp spot in your string path, or you the pins, you know, bend the string, and the pins cause most of the string breakage. Like I said, I've never had a string break with the 5 guitars that I've got with a ToneBar in it, because it lines up. Here's the ToneBar. It lines up the strings right with the sound hole, and it doesn't bend the end of the string. It prevents string breakage. And we're going to talk about the contact on the bridge plate here just in a second. Okay, the pins cause all the problems. Okay, I'm telling you, this method is here to stay. I'm one guy. I don't have any social media. I come up with this by myself. I'm trying to promote this by myself. If you can see from the logo, it's just a very crude written out thing. I did it with a little Sharpie with the skinny end. This is as low tech. I got one camera and one guy. Okay. All right. So here's the reviews from people that actually have used it. One guy called me from Chicago. He said, "Dude, this has made a significant improvement in the tone of my guitar. You're onto something here. I've never seen this before." And I agree with him. One guy that bought one, when I was selling for $15, and when I was selling for $15, the 10 I sold for $15, I sent them 2 so they could either share it or put it in another guitar that they had. Okay, one guy put it in a Martin Rhodes series. He says each note rings out like a bell. He goes, "This is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this." One guy says, "Hey man, your cute little gadget works great on my guitar." Okay, I tried it on all my guitars, but I needed this out in the field to have other people's opinions to try it. One guy gave me feedback, says terrific. It makes a big difference in the tone of your guitar, the playability of your guitar, because it don't have any pins to get in your way. And as I told one of Mount Rushmore guitar experts, you know, that should be on the Mount Rushmore. I told him, I said, you're gonna see an increase. Put it in your guitar and then tell me what you think about it. Don't just say you don't like it, not even having tried it. It's going to give you more clarity, more sustain. And what's really going on, okay, we're going to do the more contact on the bridge plate is got to increase the sustain and the clarity of the notes on a guitar. It's just the way it is, okay? I mean, the physics of it's there. Okay, the ToneBar, let's do this. The math on it, okay, when you take, I got a video that's going to come right after this. Here's a bridge with pins in it. And I got all the different colors, like those Darios that are in there. Let's see if that'll show up over there. Yeah. But I got another video coming up with that in it. Okay. The ToneBar, this is an actual representation of the ToneBar. Okay. See, and the strings, that's where the sound hole is. The strings, the ball end doesn't even touch anything. But the contact of the ToneBar to the bridge plate is 1 3/4 inches. That's a quarter on a real guitar on this bridge. The distance between each string is 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. So that's 1 3/4 inches. And the radius of the edge of the ToneBar is about 3/64 that's touching the actual bridge plate, okay, across here. All right, now so that's 1 3/4 inches times 3/64, and that's the area that the ToneBar covers to get the tone out of your bridge plate. Now with pins in, like I said, I got a video coming up that does the math. At best, these pins, I had these, this thing is out of the guitar. I did my best to try to line them up. They're just in there helter-skelter, and I had this thing in my hand. Just imagine what you're doing when you're putting pins in the guitar. Excuse me. And you can't see what's underneath there. How are you going to get them all lined up? This lines all the ball ends up just like they were wound on the machine. The sides of this is just unbelievable. Okay, at best, if the edge of the ball end is completely touching the bridge plate, you got less than 3/4 of an inch of this edge here touching the bridge plate. Less than 3/4 of an inch total. Over all the 6 pins, less than 3/4 inch. Where the ToneBar, you get 1 3/4 inches of contact to the bridge plate. Same thing, if the ball end is pulled up tight, you're going to get about 3/64 excuse me, coverage of the contact point of the pins, which is like 4 times more contact with better alignment, better contact. It's a no-brainer, but I need sales. I know people are apprehensive about this, but once they try it, I wouldn't have a guitar without a ToneBar in my guitar. And I'm not a very good guitar player. I just like guitars. I've worked on them for 30 years, I guess. Okay, this is here to stay. This is not going away. People are just going to get used to it. If you like pins in your guitar and you like that feel, you can take a pin and just cut them in half, and just after you get the ToneBar, just cover up the holes, and it looks like you still got pins in your guitar, but you don't. Your guitar will look the same, but it'll sound much, much better with a ToneBar in it. It has to. It works on plywood guitars, solid wood guitars, like I told in my other video. A plywood, cheap $100 Spencer that I've got here in Indiana, those real, even like a $150 Yamaha, makes it sound like a solid wood guitar. Much, much better. A solid wood guitar, every note rings out like a bell, and you can almost hear what kind of wood you're using. And something else you're going to find out when you start using a ToneBar, you'll be able to distinguish between brands of strings. I got a video coming up that I've done. I put the first double ToneBar in a 12-string Martin composite body. He used a certain brand of strings. I'm not going to say the name. Put them on there. The guitar was like twice as loud. Every note rang out like a bell. But he didn't like the sound of the strings, so he changed the strings, and he goes, "Now I like it." So you're gonna get a better flavor of what your strings sound like. Okay. Now what I'm looking for is dealers to put. You're gonna make money putting these in people's guitars. I'll sell you these for $10 a piece. After I sell 1,000, I'm going to reduce the price to about $8. But you can charge people 20, 20, whatever your shop rate is for changing strings. You can throw this in there, and they're going to come back because they're going to think you're on to the newest thing. This is the newest thing. This is like going from old 4-ply tires to radial steel belts. This is a game changer. But like I said, I'm one guy. I'm trying to do this by myself. If you want to help and you got better, you know how to do all this. I don't know how to edit nothing because all these videos are just, I do one and turn it off. It's just me. Okay. See, and then the wing on this is just how you grab it to put it in, like this. We went through this. There's the ToneBar. That's the top of a guitar. We stuck all the strings down in. We loaded them on the ToneBar. We bent the end over. And then we hold the ToneBar like this. And then we just pull it through like a ponytail. And it just falls right, they just fall right into place. You get perfect string installation with a ToneBar. Your strings aren't all in there helter-skelter. You might not even be getting any contact point on the ball end of your string. That's why sometimes I've told people this. You string your guitar one time, it sounds great. Next time you do it, it doesn't sound as good. You get consistent string changes with a ToneBar. I've never broke a ToneBar. The ToneBar that I got in my guitars, I've had them in there for 2 years now. I've tested this and hadn't showed this to nobody. I've kept this under my hat for all this time until I could get my patent file. Okay? Now the difference, my theory on guitar tops is anytime you add something to the top of the guitar like a pick guard, that puts weight on the top to keeps it from vibrating. So if you got brass saddles in there that weigh a lot, or that thing that somebody else sells, it's a big brass plate that your strings hook to. If it's helping, it's hurting more because it's got extra weight on the top of the guitar. Now, you take a ToneBar and weigh it. It weighs 2.46 grams. 2.5 grams. Okay? I took these pins out and weighed them. They're just typical plastic pins. They weigh 3.25 grams. They're a gram more. I mean, it's heavier. It's keeping the top from vibrating. Not only is the ToneBar lighter, but it's got more contact, and it's going to help the top vibrate, and it's not going to deter it from vibrating by adding more weight. Weight is key. Okay? Now, yeah, I'm looking for dealers, because you can make money putting them in. You can make money selling them. So I encourage dealers to get on board and buy these from me. You can only get them from me. Like I said, I'm on any social media. I'm on eBay, and I'm going to get these on Reverb here soon. and you can get them directly from me. Contact me directly, and I'll get you a better deal, and I'll ship them out immediately. I live right down the street from the post office. Okay, like I said, who am I? Okay, I worked at Zenith. We was in the space age of woodworking. That's that. This is my first patent. This is a patent on this device. It's a drum vision, and that is a internal a jig. I got it right here, that you mount in the bottom of your drum. It's got a mirror and a micro projector on it. This is another one. That's not what's in here. This is my demo. And then you can put any input into it, and it fires on the. It's in here like this. No, it's in here like this. And the micro projector fires on the mirror, and the mirror fires on the front of the drum head, and gives you an image. See that? Okay. So, again, I want to thank everybody that's watched the install videos. I'm gonna put the install video at the end of this video, and take those other ones off, and have this be the official video. This is the product, the ToneBar. It's patent pending. When you buy one, you get a ToneBar. You get a sticker for your guitar case it's at that exact logo, and they're all serial numbered, so you know which number you are, and I log it in a book. I've sold probably 50 of these, and I got everybody logged in a book. So I want to thank everybody that's looked at these. Don't be scared. This is a brand new year. Happy New Year to everybody. Step into the future. Get a ToneBar. Throw those pins away, and when you go guitar shop and buy a cheaper guitar, put a ToneBar in, and it'll sound better than the expensive guitar that you wanted to buy. Or buy the more expensive guitar and put a ToneBar in, and it'll sound better than the guitar that costs twice what that is. I'm telling you, this is a real deal. This ain't no gimmick. This is, or I wouldn't, I'm 65. I'm on a fixed income, so I'm betting the bank on this, because I think it's worthwhile. And I think it's my contribution to the music industry, because I love music, and that's why we're all here. All right, thank you, and hope to be shipping you one soon. Take care. Happy New Year. Okay, now what I've done is I have drawn a line around where each ball end touches the bridge to get an area. Okay, now we're going to stop the video, and then we're going to take the pins out and the string ends out. Okay, what we're looking at here is pins installed on a bridge that's out of a guitar, and this is typically how the ball ends line up with the pins in on the underside of the bridge. The little hole here is for a pickup. Okay, if you notice, the pins, even with this bridge out of a guitar, the ball ends just barely touch the bridge plate. Now I'm going to illustrate this by showing you. You can see some lines there between the holes. That's where the ToneBar was. All right, what we're going to show you here is the difference between the contact of the ball ends of the strings with pins in, as opposed to the contact of the tone bar to the bridge plate with the tone bar installed. Okay, this is a bridge out of a guitar with ball. I pulled the strings through as hard as I could, and that's what you get on the underside of your guitar with pins in it. Now we're going to pause the video, and then we're going to show you what it looks like with a tone bar on there. Okay, we've taken the pins out, we've taken the strings out, and I've marked where I've highlighted where the ball ends of the string touch the bottom of the bridge plate with these little areas, right here. This is where the ball end touches the bridge plate. Okay, now this darkened in area here, this is where the tone bar engages the bridge plate. Now I'm going to do the math on the area that the tone bar covers, as opposed to where the ball ends of the string touch the bottom of the bridge plate. And without doing the math, you can just see that the tone bar makes an exponentially much greater contact with the bridge plate than the ball ends do with pins installed. Okay, we're going to do the math and we're going to come right back. Can you see that? How much difference that is? The ball ends are barely touching the bridge plate. Okay, be right back. Okay, we've taken the measurements and we're going to show you here. This is the drawing of the tone bar. Okay, now this shaded in area here between the holes is where the tone bar contacts the bridge plate. Where it's not highlighted, that's where the wings are at. Okay, right here below the hole, you can see that, is this little area right here where the ball ends touch the bridge plate. Now in that picture earlier, you see when the pin's in and where the ball end contacts. I drew around where the ball end touches the bridge plate, and you'll see these little bitty areas here. That's all that the contact that the ball ends have when there's pins in. Okay, now if you'll notice, the tone bar goes right across the middle of the holes. The ball ends are suspended basically in the middle of the holes, and the tone bar does all the contacting. Okay, now this hole right here is where the bridge would be, the bridge saddle. This is the underneath picture. Now if you notice the tone bar, when you flip it to the back, see, that's the back of the bridge. This would be the front of the guitar going this way. This is where your wire for your bridge, under the bridge saddle goes, under the saddle, like a pickup. And that's the wire where the wire comes up. You notice that the tone bar doesn't even get close to that. So if you have a guitar with the under the bridge pickup, the tone bar is nowhere near your wire, so it doesn't do anything. And if you have a problem with some grounding issues, you can take a ground wire and clip it to the end of the tone bar, and it will, because it contacts all the strings at the same time, you can eliminate any hum or grounding issues that you have if you have a guitar with a pickup in it. Okay, I'm gonna come up here a little minute and show you this. The tone bar surface area contact total is 0.1365. With the ball ends contacting the bridge plate with the pins in, the surface contact area is 0.0351, which means if you do the math, It's 3.888, which is almost 4 times the contact area of bridge pins. There's no doubt that with more contact, you get better tone. And that's what the ToneBar is all about. Better tone, eliminating the pins. You're not going to have, you know, the ends of your, inside your, underneath your saddles all chewed up from the ball ends. Alright, there's the math. There's the math. ToneBar. Get one. Throw those pins away. Thank you. Okay, this is going to be the simplest explanation of the installation of the ToneBar. Okay, when you get a ToneBar, this is what you get. You get the ToneBar, patent pending. Okay, we're going to use the strings already laid out here. Here's how you do it. Been a lot of questions about this. You just lay your ToneBar down on the top of your guitar. You take the first string. This is just a mock-up. You put the string down in the hole. Down in the hole. Okay, then you stick your hand down in here. Then you pull the string up. The ToneBar falls down inside there. It doesn't hurt nothing. Okay, so here's your ToneBar. It's bent at one end to allow the string to slide on. Okay, so you slide the first string on. Get it over the ball end and it slides on just like that. Now, then you got control of it here. So just lay it down. Doesn't matter. Take your second string. It's different than putting pins in, but once you figure it out, it's easier. Okay, so second string goes down inside. Put your hand down in there. You can feel it. It'll come up. You load the second string on there. Slide it on. Now you got 2 strings on. Third string. I'm not going to stick my hand through the holes here. We're going to do it all like you're, just like it's a regular body. Stick your other string through. You'll feel it. Pull it back up through. Slide it on your ToneBar. We've got 3 strings on there now. 3 more to go to 6 string. Don't worry about the ToneBar flopping around. You got complete control over it. Put your 4th string down in there. You'll feel it. Just pull it up. Load it on the ToneBar. Just slides right on. Alright, now once you do that, take the slack out. Then your ToneBar will sit right there. Okay. 5th string. Stick it down in the hole. You feel it. Come right up. This is a purple one. This is probably a set of Diodarios. Mr. Diodario, if you're watching, I'd like to license this to you. Okay, 6th string. Same as the others. Stick it down in the hole. You'll feel it. Slide it on. Okay, now everything about this ToneBar is designed for a specific purpose. Okay, now since you got all your strings on here, I take a little bitty block with a hole in it and stick it in the end and just bend it up. See, I just bent that up to 90, the way it looks in the logo. Okay, now the trick is you hold, the sticker doesn't get in the way with nothing. The sticker's there just to identify it. The trick is to hold it like this. Take the slack out of your strings and then just kind of space them out a little bit, kind of like try to match your bridge. And then the trick is you pull it through like a ponytail. You see that? I got all the strings on there and I'm going to pull it up through here like a ponytail. And then you can just kind of let it go. And then you can look down the sound hole and all the strings are lined up on the ToneBar. Okay, and then you just pull your string up and I tighten up the middle ones first. Okay, I'm going to do this from 3 different angles. Okay, so the trick is pulling it through like a ponytail. Once you get it in there and tighten all the strings up, the tone bar will engage. You can kind of, with the sticker on there, you can kind of feel where it's at. You can feel all your tone bar, you know, all your ball ends lined up. Okay, and you string your guitar up. You're gonna get better tone, more palm muting, no pins. Okay, now how do you get them out? How do you get a tone bar out? Same way. Unloosen all the strings, cut the ends off however you want to do it, reach down in there, loosen it, and it just comes out like that. And then you just take your little, you can use a crescent wrench or whatever you want to use. You bend it back open, and then you slide the strings off. And then you just pull them through, and then you just repeat what you just saw. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with a different angle. Okay, stand by. Okay, this is an angle from the bottom of the guitar. You've got your tone bar. You've loaded your strings on your tone bar. You've bent the end up. You've taken the tension off. Okay. And you're going to line it up. You're going to line your strings up, your ball ends up. Just kind of, don't have to be perfect. Just line them up. Take the tension out. See how I'm pulling that up through the bottom? And you just kind of let it go. And then the strings just kind of magically, the ball ends just slide into place because you're pulling straight up on them. And then you lay it down, and then you have your tone bar installed. Just tune the guitar up. See how much contact the tone bar has with the bridge plate. The pins don't do nothing. I'm not going to keep bashing the pins because they're a thing of the past. When you get your tone bar in there, you just kind of push it down. These wings here are just kind of like they're there for the installation. They're there to keep the tone bar flat, to give it strength at the end. Okay. Now, same thing. We got a tone bar on here. It's been on there for quite a while. We need to change the strings. Well, how you get it off? You just loosen the strings, and then you just basically just let the tone bar just fall down, and you pull out. You pull out this. If you cut them off, you just pull them all the way out, and then you start all over. It's restringing your guitar. Okay. The tone bar, patent pending. This should change the way guitars are strung all through the future. Thank you. Hope this helps.